was one breath closer to death, and he was ready for it. There were times when he was really scared. He was a human being, and there were times when he sat there and he cried because he was scared. But he knew what breath meant, and we don't, because we take breathing for granted. So there's a little bit about things like that, and about patience. And then towards the end, it describes his death. And I think I'm going to just read from the end of the book, which describes Imran's death. On the day that he died, I left the hospital about 12, went home for a few hours, and then I got a text message to say, come back. We've been told to call everybody. So I set off, and on the way, I sent a few text messages and hope that whoever reads, please pray for Imran, may Allah make things easy for him, at 5:30 in the morning, would understand what that implied. This time I didn't cry as I drove. The tears only came when one of the recipients phoned back to ask if things were okay. I didn't answer. I sobbed. I let out a few of all of my emotions without actually saying anything. That was enough for me to regain my composure before seeing Imran and the family. I greeted Imran and began to read. As more and more of his family arrived, I took a back seat and recited from a distance. I knew he could hear. I knew he could hear it. But what was more important was that his family were close to him at these crucial moments. His mother would call me every once in a while, saying that he wanted me. He hadn't said anything, but she communicated at a different level, and I wasn't going to argue. As I moved back once more, she said in a raised voice, "He's speaking. Call Abdul Aziz." I could see he was trying to say something. Although his eyes were closed, his mouth was moving, and his breathing suggested she was right. It's recorded in a prophetic hadith that whoever's last words is La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah, enters heaven. I began to repeat this phrase. I adjusted my breathing to match Imran's and moved closer to his face. His eyes seemed to open a little, and as those around us joined in, his mouth formed the words, and his tongue began to move. I heard his last words, and without a doubt, they were La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. He didn't speak again. A few more hours later, he passed away quietly, and this brave young man departed, leaving those around him to contemplate their loss and cry for what was now missing in their lives. He was laid to rest on Tuesday, March the 4th, 2009. May Allah grant him eternal rest. Ameen. And the book finishes with a short poem, which I'll end my talk with. Sleep well, my friend. Last night you slept alone, sleeping the slumber of the spouse. Your breathing eased. No more struggle, no more pain. Last night I cried alone. They mustn't know how I loved you. Your newfound ease brings us newfound pain. Years of chasing your breath guided you to well-earned rest. Your questions, your smiling eyes, how long till I see them again? I've lost many a loved one, but none like you. I don't know why I feel this pain. You've moved on to happier days. I cry for myself and my loss, not for you and your gains. Sleep well, my friend. We will meet again. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.